Brian, tell us what you think.
Oh God.
Maybe I'll talk you into getting your score up a little bit. You know?
I'll get the positive out of the way because it's very short. The cinematography is beautiful. The locations are great. Everything else was just enraging to me.
What about the historical accuracy of the film?
Historical accuracy goes out the window when
Predator comes in.
Predator comes in, beats up a grizzly bear, and then gets his ass handed to him by a little 16-year-old, 85-pound girl.
Which there's reasons for that.
Yeah, I know, because he's been wounded by, the 1,000 other people that
not only that,
killed
bro,
throughout the movie.
He does not view her as a threat. He simply does not. She even says that. I'm not a threat to it.
He does at the end when he goes after her.
When he finally does, after she just starts attacking him, catches him off guard, sets up an elaborate trap that works out a little too well, if you ask me. She also has that, whatever that fucking orange flower shit is that cools your blood temperature. That's why Predator doesn't see her for most of the film, man. She's got that juice in her.
Yeah, she's got magic leaves. Honestly, like when you're talking about like how that whole end scene went, like I'm struggling to remember it because my mental state was checked out of this movie like barely a half an hour into it. Like that's how bad this movie was to me.
It's a slow start.
It was just awful. Like the opening hunt scene, she's literally running toe to toe with an elk, not really losing that much ground. It's preposterous, totally unbelievable. There's a shot in there where the elk is running, the dog cuts the thing off, and then the thing literally looks like a piece of paper was turned sideways because the CGI is so bad, and the elk would have broken every limb in its body making this maneuver. The CGI animals, by the way, throughout the entire movie were just terrible. I felt like I was watching Beast Wars. It was that bad.
You really thought the CGI was that bad in this film?
Yes.
Wow.
Their CGI, Jurassic Park CGI makes this look terrible. That was from 1993. Huntsy, again, this little girl, she's 85 pounds. She's throwing tomahawks around like she's Aroldis Chapman.
1-2. Struck him out.
And this is all like, there's a bunch of shit that happens before the Predator even turns up. Or I'm just like, I'm mentally checked out of this one. No.
It's because the wolf got killed. That's why it is.
That was the least of my problems. Believe it or not. I didn't like that, though. You're right. When the guts and stuff fell out of the wolf, it literally looked like Game Boy rain. That's it. It was fucking so bad.
I don't know if you're watching like a 720p version of this movie or something.
No, it's 1080.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
So did you not like the characters? Did you think that the cast themselves did a fine job?
No, there's not one character in this thing that I care about. There's not one acting performance where I was like, wow, that was
not even the dog.
Great. Okay, I'll make one exception. That is true. You're very correct about that. But again, it is still ridiculous that the dog survived at the end.
How many times was that dog in peril?
Yeah, from the very beginning, I was like, oh boy, this is not good. Like her brother is talking to her, and then all of a sudden it's like, what? Oh, bang. And then literally a moving eagle that is 500 feet in the sky, just thwack, just like it's nothing. And then he just starts continuing a conversation with her. Like, what is this guy, Hawkeye from the fucking Marvel universe?
He actually is. He's Native American.
And Hawkeye. He's the one that dies, but the 95-pound girl survives. Fuck
because
off.
The Predator did not view her as a threat. It viewed the men as the threat.
The Predator fought a grizzly bear with his bare hands and won.
He
won, this girl with her little ticky-tack tomahawk is going to come along even if he's wounded. She's just going to swat her away like a fly. If you establish rule, I hate films like this. If you establish a rule from the very beginning, you have to follow it to the end. Otherwise, it is dog shit. And that's
the Predator also didn't have his mask when he was fighting her at the end. Every other person/creature that he fought throughout the course of this film had his mask on that helps him with just about everything. Everything from his gadgets and his gizmos to his sight.
So he fights a grizzly bear and kills 100 Frenchmen. But this 185-pound girl is special.
She is.
without any superpowers or nothing.
Go someone.
The superpower of women.
The power of the flower.
She also had several scenes where she beats up several fucking guys and kills several Frenchmen.
Yes,
by the way.
it's almost like the movie was trying to show you that she's
you have to throw me something.
Okay, hear me out.
You have to give me something. Like, this is so unbelievable. It's ridiculous.
Would you get into a ring with Ronda fucking Rousey?
Yeah.
In a not sexual way?
Yeah.
You would fight Ronda Rousey?
Yeah.
Okay. First off, now you're a woman beater. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not trying to sound like a tough guy. I'm 6'2", 210 pounds. She is what, like 5'7" and 140?
Would kill you in a second, bro. You would be tapping out before you fucking walked in the ring. All I'm saying
with Ronda Rousey, the one move Ronda Rousey. Maybe some of her opponents, maybe Amanda Nunes, maybe, but not Ronda Rousey.
Okay, disagree highly with that.
No, I actually completely agree with that. So yeah, Amanda Nunes, I would not mess with.
No, I would not fuck with her.
No, I'm talking about anyway. All right,
Ronda Rousey has one move.
They show
armbar.
Clearly in this movie that she is capable of defending herself quite well against not just one but a few men. There's been other movies in the past, like a fucking...
I don't know, she nearly gets taken up by a puddle.
She beats a fucking space creature that defeated a grizzly bear with his bare fucking hands.
I just wish that the grizzly bear wasn't in the movie, because I feel like you would have less ammunition.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, not him. What about the 100 Frenchmen all at once?
Not all at once. Are you
oh my God, she's more powerful than 100 French. By the way, fur trappers. 1719 fur trappers. These are hard fucking men who know their way around land and know exactly what to do in a tough situation. He goes through them like butter, and then the 85-pound girl shows up and fucking.
I don't know where you're getting 85 pounds.
He's done.
She wasn't that small.
She's tiny. Fucking tiny.
I disagree. And the Predator did not kill 100 men going at him all at once. He would have lost that fucking battle. At first, he starts off that whole thing by assassinating 2 of them, goes on, kills the other 2, then slowly starts creeping his way in the battle, slowly and eliminating them all one by one. He's not walking into a fucking brawl full of 100 men.
And they're all trying to fight him.
Yeah, they're all trying.
What you say? Listen to yourself.
Also, look at the environment that he's in.
It's an entire camp of French fur trappers.
These guys can't see shit. When he gets down to that smoky area where everything is just foggy and filled up with fog, guess who could see? The fucking alien elite predator. With his thermal shit, he could see everyone. Guess what?
So it's dark as fuck. The final fight scene, by the way, with the 85-pound chick, it is dark as fuck there, too. They can't see. She can see, but they can't.
We're gonna be in such a minority here. You're the minority. I don't know.
I am. I don't care. I don't care. This movie was shit.
Give me a little backup here, Craig. We got a 7 from you. What did you like about this film?
The dog.
You gave it a 7 for a reason.
He's just yeah. You gotta at least back him up a little bit. Come on.
The scenery, the dog. I quite liked the guy who played a brother. Quite liked his character. The whole Hawkeye thing, that was just like, come on.
I'm going to teach you how to hunt. You need to be paying attention to me instead of being distracted. Oh, thwack! Anyway, let's continue this conversation.
Not only that, because they were stood so far away from where he actually hit the eagle, which was also carrying a fish. So he got double bubble there.
You got a 2 for 1. I'm just having trouble. I'm having a real difficult time seeing how you are ranking, how you're considering 1 as a viable ranking for this movie. When you've reviewed like truly horrendous movies. Like, you didn't give Van Helsing a 1.
This movie made Army of Darkness look like The Godfather. It really did.
So crazy, bro.
And at least the Army of Darkness was like, let's have some fun. This was like, please take us seriously as this 4'2" lady destroys a predator from outer space that can defeat grizzly bears with its bare hands.
She doesn't do it with her bare hands.
I will say
the predator beats the grizzly bear with its bare hands.
Yes.
That alone should make you not anywhere near capable of defeating this thing if you're Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger, all jacked on steroids and everything.
Well, I will say this about at the end when Predator dies. One thing I did like about it was it wasn't actually her taking him out.
Yes.
It was his helmet that like saw him locked on. The helmet saw him with his weapon and sort of targeted him, and then shot out one of those metal darts that he was firing at everyone. One of those goes straight through his head. So at least there was that you know, she didn't do the killing blow. He had to sort of kill himself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
She also like spends the most time learning the Predator in this movie out of any other character. A lot of these people that are going up and facing the Predator haven't really had time to watch and study it, seeing what its weaknesses are, etc. Like she's learned a lot by either following the Predator or just past interactions with it. So it actually, to me, man, it makes the most sense that she is the one to conquer this thing. Most of the time, these people are just like, here's this fucking thing. And what the fuck? We're just going to try to go at it and do our best, especially, you know, the guys with the testosterone and the ego and that fuels their native tribe. It's like, all right, well, I'm going to be the one to take this out no matter, like, they're not thinking, if that makes sense. They're going with that brute force. She's taking the time to set up these traps to really fucking, she's like, I can't beat this guy. Mono-y woman. She knows that. So she masks her temperature with the fucking shit that makes her blood cold. Guess what? Predator can't even see her anymore as long as that mask is on. Not only does she notice that he doesn't view her as a threat already, now she's basically the ghost. It's like the roles have been reversed. She's the one with the invisibility cloak, and now she just has to be cool, calm, collected, calculated, and really think about the way that she's going to take this fucker out. I feel like everything in this film leads up to it making sense that she kills him. Not just for her being the main character, but how she carries herself throughout the entire film. Training, learning different techniques, and tracking this motherfucker down to the end, man. Like, it makes sense. I'm really trying to understand. You're standing behind the fact that she is like an 84-pound woman, which she's not. And it's
Let me put it this way. If I gave you a tomahawk and I told you about 20 feet in front of you was a gorilla and it was wounded in several spots on its body, and I told you to go over there and kill this gorilla with a tomahawk, do you think you would be successful?
Okay, so here's the problem with your statement, because it's not what Naru did. She didn't just walk up to the gorilla that was wounded and the predator that was wounded.
She goes up and stabs it several times with not just a tomahawk, but with its spears and whatnot. Yeah, all 85 pounds soaking whatever.
Well, I mean, here's the thing is, if you're determined to get this thing killed, you already have traps in place. You need these traps to play out as your plan accords. You got to do what you got to do. If I'm in a situation with that fucking gorilla there, am I thinking I'm going to win? Probably not, but I'm also not a fucking Comanche warrior that has nothing left to lose, because most everyone in her life is already dead that she cares about. This woman's got, she has everything to prove and almost nothing to lose. That kicks in a different type of internal instinct, I think.
Well, she hasn't got anyone to prove to left.
Yes, she does. Her tribe, as she walks up to the end with the predator's fucking head in her hand.
Actually, that's true.
She's lost her brother.
Back at home, yeah.
She's lost her brother, and if anything, she has to prove it to herself. She fucked up with the lion. She thinks that she missed out on this big opportunity. She just got the big pep talk from her brother right before she's about to go solo up against Predator here. She's calculated her plan. She's drawn it out to the best of her ability, and she ends up winning the fight. I think if she went hand-to-hand combat and the Predator had the advantages that it fought literally everyone else in this film with, I think it would have went differently. But the Predator was wounded. We have to take these things into account when we're watching the final fight. It's that simple.
I'm sorry. I can only take into account that this tiny little girl is taking on a Predator that fought fist to fist with a grizzly bear and won. And, oh, by the way, killed hundreds of people like they were fucking flies.
I don't know about the word 100.
I don't have to get around that. No, you established that at the very beginning of the movie.
It's not hundreds of people.
You're literally asking me to take a leap of faith.
But the more that I think about it, the more it makes sense They set this movie up in a way for
None of it should make sense after it fights a grizzly bear and wins and then loses to a little girl.
I don't believe that. I think that if you use your brain, okay. So how
I am using my brain.
How do men kill a grizzly bear? They use their fucking brain. It's the same thing. This predator.
This predator didn't use its brain. It used brute force. It literally charged it like a gorilla.
All the more reason for the predator to lose the fight to someone who is thinking.
To the grizzly bear.
You keep going back to this grizzly bear. They're two completely separate fights. This woman has
no shit. They are.
I don't know.
No shit. They are.
I mean, I'm giving you all my rebuttals, and I feel
if you watch me defeat a grizzly bear with my bare hands, what makes you think that a fucking little child basically is going to defeat me?
She's smarter than you.
Even if I'm hurt, she's smarter than me.
Batman was able to take down Superman in the comic. You want to know why? He's smarter.
It's a fucking comic. That's why.
Same thing as this being a fiction movie. This is a fictional movie.
It is fiction. It is fiction. But you have to have... I'm sorry. I have standards, okay? I feel like you have to have standards at some point. This film, I feel like... and I do see that people like this film, but I'm sorry. Because of the way that, like, the past 10 years and how terrible films would be, I feel like this one seems like it's okay to good to people. And to me, it's shit. It's terrible. You can't have a fucking space creature with... unlimited tech, defeat a grizzly bear, not even use the tech, by the way, defeat a grizzly bear with its bare hands, and then have a little small human that's not even 100 pounds defeat this guy. It's absurd. It's asinine.
With unlimited tech, it's lost most of the shit that it uses to fight.
I don't care. It's literally fucking one-on-one with the grizzly bear and won. She fucking comes around with the tomahawks, tries to swipe at him, right? And he literally just goes, fly, get away. Get away, fly.
That grizzly bear also drew a fuck ton of blood, so much to the point where the grizzly bear was just about covered with the predator's blood. That wasn't a super simple, easy fight. Did it get finished quick? Hell yeah, it did, but that fucking grizzly drew an immense amount of blood.
And you think a little girl is going to give him a fucking fight as tough as that goddamn grizzly bear?
If she's smarter, absolutely. A grizzly bear just goes in and charges. It's like watching Thanos versus the Hulk in Avengers Infinity War.
Oh, my God, Thanos.
Guess who wins that fucking fight?
Dude, come back to reality, please.
This isn't reality.
Come back to reality, please. But you have to have standards. If you establish you establish rules in fictional things where the imaginary shit happens. If you establish rules, you cannot break them. This is why I fucking can't stand like shit like in Rise of Skywalker when he's like, "Oh, light speed skipping. We have that." We're doing that now, and they're doing the run like it's Guardians of the Galaxy. In the very first movie, it's like we can't just fucking go to light speed right away. We have to make calculations, and there's all sorts of shit we have to do. And then you're breaking rules later on in the movies. If you break the rule in the same fucking movie,
in the same fight, Brian, you are implementing rules that are not in the same fight.
Same universe. Same universe.
But you're stuck.
Star Wars, it's a Star Wars movie and a Star Wars movie. That's exactly what I said.
I'm talking about this movie. I am saying that you keep bringing up the fight with the grizzly bear in relation to Naru and Predator. There are drastically so many differences with the situations, the abilities of each fighter in that film. When by the time Naru, she's not as trained as she once was.
You're literally proving my point.
I'm not though. I'm giving you points.
They're vastly different fighters. One is a monstrous apex predator. The other one is a little girl.
Throughout the course of the film, the predator loses a lot of its tech. The predator is now drastically more injured than it was in the fight with the grizzly bear.
You've lost an arm.
It doesn't need the tech against this little girl. That's the whole point.
But it relies on it. It has throughout the entirety of this film.
It didn't rely on it against the fucking grizzly bear.
So what? Then but it did with the fucking
So what? Yeah. Well, just forget that.
Maybe the predator just wanted a hand-to-hand challenge, and maybe it thought after that, hey, fuck, maybe that wasn't the greatest idea. I almost died there.
I want to know what is obviously is an alien, but the amount of damage that thing takes She puts a bullet in the back of his head, and he just turns around and snarls. It's like, how is it still alive? The amount of actual damage that thing took through the whole film. When he's leaping into the trees, he is jumping like 40 feet from standstill. like the guy is he is a gorilla.
He's jumping 40 feet in a matter of like seconds.
He's strong boy.
Yeah, 40 feet in a matter of seconds, and then gets killed by an 85-pound girl.
What are some parts you?
Sorry, I can't let this go. I can't let this go.
I have given you many reasonable reasons as to why the outcome of that fight turned out the way that it did. And your response to me each time has been, I can't get behind the fact that it fought with the grizzly bear and won, and it lost to this girl with drastically different situations throughout both fights.
Yeah, they're different situations, but it shouldn't matter.
Joe, I want you to pick
you
a
literally
side
said you literally told me they're like, hey, it's a different situation. He had all his tech taken away. He fought a grizzly bear without the fucking tech.
He did though.
He did. Yeah. And that proves my point. You can't, and he defeats the grizzly bear until he whips out his fucking arm claws at the end to kill it. Okay, but he had it defeated, and now you're saying that the little girl won because he doesn't have the tech available to him anymore. He didn't need the tech against a grizzly bear. Why would he need it against this little fucking girl?
Craig, start talking. I need a second.
I know the point that Quentin's trying to make is the fact that the grizzly bear's just going to come. It was just a primal fight, and she's hiding away. She's trying to be tactical about how she goes about it. But I do think it's ridiculous. I completely agree with Brian's point that he wouldn't need it, and there's he has her. The amount of times in that fight where he's physically got his hand on her, and he even nearly decapitates her with his shield. She's laid against a rock, and so she's recessed at the rock, and he should just be able to grab her head and just go bang.
Fair, 100%, yeah. But and here's the thing though, he didn't fight it without tech either. He was fucking invisible the entire fight with the grizzly bear. Invisible all the way up into the point where he's holding the grizzly bear up, and then he gets soaked in blood. He has the advantage of being completely.
He's not invisible to the grizzly bear.
Yes, he was.
The grizzly bear can fucking smell him, and so did the wolf.
Sure, he can smell him, but do grizzly bears fight with their fucking eyes closed? No, they don't.
They have the sense of smell. Do you know their senses of smell? They can.
So why don't they? Why don't they fight with their eyes closed? Why doesn't a grizzly bear fight?
Because why would they? Yeah, they're not thinking like, oh, let me make this harder. Let me shut my eyes.
Exactly. So it makes the fight harder for him. The fucking enemy that is kicking the shit out of this grizzly bear is fucking invisible to the naked eye.
Well,
that's using tech.
The grizzly bear can smell where he is at all times. It's a fucking grizzly bear. So can the wolf. That's why the wolf was like growling in his direction. He was staring right at him because he knew exactly where he was because the wolf can fucking smell him.
And well, not only that, you do get his invisible armor.
And he has body armor on him too, bro.
He does.
So it's
but
not
he literally can't beat a grizzly bear.
Yeah, but it's not a technical fight.
And you're going to ask me to believe that this 85-pound girl beats him? No. Fuck no, I'm not doing that.
Exact weight of this poor girl, just so I can stop.
Okay, so what if she's 110 and she's 5'3"? I don't know. It's still ridiculous. You're asking me to take a giant leap of faith. And you can't have him defeat a fucking grizzly bear one-on-one. And, by the way, defeat 100 Frenchmen. 100 hard fucking hardened
with
men.
And calculated alien technology using literal fucking bombs on 17, 19 Frenchmen. Using literal bombs, landmines, camouflage, fucking guns that are shooting out of its hand. Using the active camouflage that's already in the area. Calculating, sneaking up behind them. Like it's this predator isn't going up against these 100 Frenchmen straight on. Joe Thornhill, I need you to be on my side with this. King Boomer can suck a cock tonight. A big one.
Oh my god. Dude, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not watching a fucking space creature defeat a goddamn grizzly bear, which I don't think you know what a grizzly bear is, by the way.
I do.
It defeats a grizzly bear, And then at the end of the movie, but the only thing that you have going for you right now with this end fight is that he's wounded. The Predator's wounded in several areas. And I still wouldn't fucking put my money on the little girl.
Took a whole fucking
under
spear
any
through the
circumstances. Under any circumstances, I wouldn't put my fucking money on her. Not a chance in hell.
Even though she's already proven herself to show formidable against 3 different men at once. Still loses, but puts up a hell of a
6,
fight.
I believe. There's one scene in here where she defeats 6 Frenchmen, I believe.
All
in hand-to-hand combat, by the way.
So that's her proving herself that she's stronger than all of them, at least in terms of her wits and her.
No, that's not her proving herself. That's literally ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And then you're going to ask me to believe that she's going to beat a goddamn predator that beats grizzly bears, smacks grizzly bears around in the forest.
I'm just saying, at the very least, with how you're looking at it, they at least tried to give you cues that she's not just this helpless 84-pound girl. Throughout the entire course of this movie, that is not how they presented her. In fact, they've done the polar opposite.
No, I know what the movie. Yeah, I know what the fucking movie is. She's trying to prove herself throughout the entire film.
Yep.
But you can't ask me to believe that she's going to prove herself against somebody who defeats grizzly bears in the forest.
You're too headstrong on this. I can't. I'm done battling.
You can't get past it. You can't. Look, if I defeated a grizzly bear, what in the world it makes you think that you are going to defeat me with Batman training?
I cannot fucking wait to rewatch this, and I can't wait to count how many times you said grizzly bear in this podcast.
Oh, it's probably 100 because
it's all you could focus on. I'm gonna put DM the director of this film. I'm gonna say, hey, when your next film comes out that I'm excited to see, just do me a favor, no grizzly bears, because I can't. Craig, help! Are you just Craig's playing
the CGI on the CGI on the grizzly bear in The Revenant? By the way,
way better.
50 times better than this.
Oh, 100%. What's the budget on Revenant?
better than this.